10 times 10,000 come. They said to Aturah, verse 3, how shall we do? Where strike in? And Aturah, wise in wickedness, said, go to the temples, the places of shining copper and silver, to the oracles, and obsess them every way, every one. And when the kings and the learned men come to consult God, my deadly enemies assume ye to be him, and answer them with lies and all manner of unprofitable speculation. Turn them upside down, make them curse Gechi, God, make them ask for Aturah. And when madness cometh on them, follow ye them to their sleeping couch, and whisper in their souls that their neighbors are their deadly enemies. Incite them to war and to all manner of deeds of death. And when they overturn each other's kingdom and houses, and their dead lie like ashes over all the land, gather ye in their distracted spirits to fill my mighty kingdom with God's harvest. Verse 4. Then answered the host of Aturah, who was known in heaven as most mighty God, what are thy prize for the souls of men, for souls to extend thy heavenly kingdom? Verse 5. Aturah answered, saying, according to the number of subjects any angel bringeth me, so will I exalt him to be a captain, or a general, or a lord, or a god, and he shall have a sub-kingdom in my heavenly regions, with thousands of servants to do his abiding. Verse 6. With that the evil god and his evil spirits fell to work night and day, and lo and behold, the fair land of Guatama, America, was overspread with human blood, fell war spreading along throughout all the mighty kingdoms, kingdom against kingdom, city against city, man against man. Verse 7. And the holy temples were pulled down or burnt, and the canals broken and wasted, the cities on fire, the fields lay desolate, neither grew there any grain, the grinding mills of the women were silent, like the dead stretched over all the fields. Verse 8. Into the forest afar off fled the women with the children, hungry, weeping, starving. And the cities went down, the nations went down, the tribes of men were broken up, only remnants here and there remained. And where had been great and mighty peoples, lay only heaps of ruins, past the power of man to rebuild. Verse 9. Then looked down from the highest heaven the Creator, the Great Spirit, saw the work of desolation, saw Aturah at his bloody work. Now comes the call of EAWATAH. God's first book, chapter 26, verse 10 through 15. Verse 10. And the Great Spirit cried out with a loud voice, so that the earth and heaven shook with the power of his voice. Sifted all things as a woman sifted meal, and he found one grain of corn not ground by the God of evil, found hunger. The tribes so fast sworn to the Great Spirit that the evil gods and evil spirits' words rolled off and took no hold on them. Verse 11. The Great Spirit saw the tribes of hunger, they that stuck most to the irons, the sacred little people, oft married with them, thus preserving the stock to the hand and voice. And he called loud and long. Verse 12. Hunger, hunger, hunger. Creator would not be put off with silence. Called again, hunger, hunger. But he heard only his own voice resounding far. Again he called, hunger, hunger, hunger. Verse 13. In the first call, Aturah and his evil host ran away. In his second call, it was like springtime after heavy winter. And in the third call, it was like budding summer. And there came up a sprout of the seed of hunger, an Ahuin, taller than any other man, with a bright shining face of copper, shining as if all the destroyed temples glistened in his broad face, in his broad head. Verse 14. And he spoke, saying, Hear, O Great Spirit, here I am. And the Great Spirit said, Who art thou, my son? And he answered, I am son of the Creator. Then asked the Great Spirit, Of what tribe? And he answered, My flesh is nothing, my genealogy is of spirit, of the Ains my mother, of the Ahuins my father. Verse 15. Then said the Creator, For which reason I named thee EAWATAH, spirit and flesh even balance, best of men. Come thou with me, walk along with me, thou shalt reinstate the tribes of men, deliver them out of darkness, make them worshipful. Now the Creator reveals his name to Iwata. God's first book, chapter 26, verse 16 through 20. Verse 16. Iwata said, I am thy servant, O great spirit. What shall I call thee, that the tribes of men be no longer distrustful? Then answered the Creator, call me after the wind, O Iwata. Verse 17. Iwata said, how after the wind? The great spirit said, come with me, my son. Then Iwata walked along and came to a place where the wind blew in the leaves. Verse 18. The Creator said, tell me, my son, what saith the wind in the leaves? And answered Iwata, eh. Then the Creator took Iwata to the big sea water and asked, what saith the wind in the water, my son? And Iwata answered, Go. Then took the Creator Iwata to the high crags, the rocks above the clouds, piercing, where the wind whistled. And he said, what saith the wind, my son? And Iwata answered, Quim. Verse 20. And the Great Spirit said, call me Ego Quim, O my son. I am three in one. The earth and all that is in the earth and on the earth, and all the stars and moon and sun, they are all one of my members. And the air above the earth is another member of my person. And higher yet, in the high place above the earth, above the air, is the ether, the great penetrator. And that is the third member of my person. I am everywhere, far and near. All things thy eye seeth, all things thy eye hears, are of me and in me. Now Ego Quim, the Creator, established his laws through Iwata. God's first book, chapter 27, 6 through 27, verse 6. This is the first Ego Quim law. Verse 7. And thou shalt deal unto all men and women and children as justly, as kindly as to thy own mother, out of whose breast thou wert fed, when thou wert helpless and of no strength. Verse 8. Teaching this to thy children and to their children after them forever. Verse 9. And this is the second Ego Quim law. Verse 10. And to the sick and helpless, to the stranger, and the man that cometh afar, to the widow who is destitute, to the child that hath no father, thou shalt be both father and mother to them, and take them into thy house and feed them, and give them skins and a cloth to wear. And if they be lost, thou shalt go with them and show them the way. Verse 11. Commanding these things unto thy children and to their children after them forever. Verse 12. And this is the third Ego Quim law. Verse 13. Thou shalt not tell lies, nor speak falsely against any man nor woman, nor child, nor break thy word of promise, even though death come upon thee to induce thee otherwise. Unchangeable as the setting and rising sun shall be the word of thy mouth. Verse 14. And thou shalt command this to thy children, and to their children after them forever. Verse 15. And this is the fourth Ego Quim law. Verse 16. And thou shalt not take and possess that which is another's, nor suffer thy children to do so, nor their children after them forever. Verse 17. Which is the fifth Ego Quim's law. Verse 18. And thou shalt respect the times of women, and when she is bearing unto thee, thou shalt not lie with her, nor give her heavy labor, no angry words, nor fret her, but be obedient to her, doing whatsoever she asks thee to do, for it is her time, and she is thy queen. Verse 19. Teaching this to thy young men, and to thy young women, and to their heirs that come after them forever, for their young are begotten of me, and I will have them shapely and strong and brave. Verse 20. Which is the sixth Ego Quim law. Verse 21. Thou shalt labor 6 days, but on the seventh day it is the moon's day. And thou shalt not labor, nor hunt, nor fish, but go to the altar of thy Creator, and dance and sing before him, and sit in silence to hear my words, which I speak into the souls of men and of women and children. Verse 22. Teaching this to thy children and to their children that come after them forever. Verse 23. Which is the seventh Ego Quim law. Verse 24. Thou shalt restore the rites and ceremonies of and on the part I swear thee, which thou shalt not restore, which is, Thou shalt not flatten the head to make a seer, to drive the judgment of the brain away to prophetic regions. Verse 25. Teaching these things to thy children and to their children after them forever. Verse 26, which is the eighth Egoquim law. Verse 27. Then rose up Iwata, son of